Hello, welcome to the channel. My name is Joseph Pith and this is the Pith Take. I think this is going to be a pretty short video. For a few decades now, Christianity in the UK has been in pretty serious decline. Don't think anyone would disagree with that. It's probably far worse than it appears, because statistically people that may be declaring themselves Christian in truth probably are not practicing Christians. I think over the period of that decline, Christianity in the West has become characterized as sort of a weak faith. People have the impression of it that it's willing to bend to social and political pressure just to sort of fit in and not cause upset. We've all heard the mantra, stand for nothing and fall for anything. I think that's how many people see Christianity and the church, particularly in England. Over decades, people have seen the church sort of acquiesce to a society that is actively seeking to undermine them, that prostrate themselves at the altar of inclusivity, tie themselves up in all kinds of knots to align scripture to whatever the current thing is, and generally the result is sort of compromised and almost corrupted doctrine. Now, I grew up in the 1980s, 1990s, and the only sort of contact we really had with Christians was like weekend evenings when we were kicking around town. Quite often there would be groups of people approach us to chat to us, and to be fair to them, they were very well intentioned when you look back. They were trying to engage with their communities, they were looking for opportunity to share the gospel message, but nobody really showed them much respect. Nobody really wanted to hear what they had to say, and many people amongst my friend groups, mocked them, and but that's a tough crowd. Teenagers are hardwired to push back against authority, and to us growing up, the church was a part of that. Christianity was part of our daily lives. You could say from boomers all the way through to millennials, we remember a world where we sang hymns in school assemblies, where the Lord's Prayer was literally part of every school day, even in non-religious schools. Now, I'm not saying necessarily that people liked that, but it was definitely very normal. I mean, it has actually been compulsory to have daily worship in state schools since 1944. It's probably a pretty high percentage of schools that are non-compliant with that legal obligation in 2025. And for those of us amongst those generations that had daily prayer and worship as part of our sort of school experience, it was pretty amazing to hear the Lord's Prayer proclaimed by hundreds of thousands of people in Westminster on September the 13th. For so many of us, of that generation, it just kind of rolled off the tongue, word perfect, almost as if that was your sole purpose for being there. And seeing such a strong Christian presence at the Unite the Kingdom rally festival has I think, provoked a lot of people to look again at Christianity, to reconsider the faith that they had written off as weak. Christianity is woven into the fabric of this country in such a manner that for as long as there is an England, Christianity can't really be unpicked from it. But we need strong faith leaders to inspire, to reveal the truth of who Jesus is, because it is Jesus that will save this country. It's not politics, it's not mere cultural Christianity. And I've really started to notice some very strong Christian voices who aren't afraid to follow where God is leading. Now, obviously, very sadly, one of the most prominent of those in Charlie Kirk is no longer with us. His frankly horrific murder, however, has been catalyst to many more people standing up. In England, the Reverend Chris Wickland is someone I have grown to have a great deal of respect for. He's someone who is not afraid to sort of engage head on with the issues that we're facing as a country. I have put a link to his channel in the description of this video. So I'd say if you are at all curious about the idea that Christianity is the only thing that's really going to save this country, or want to see what it looks like when Christians are acutely aware of the cultural zeitgeist, I would definitely recommend taking a look at some of Chris Wickland's excellent content. I think that's all for today. I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.